Hi, I'm Paul Whitehouse. Welcome to talkSPORT magazine. Green Army! Do you want it, sir? Oh, suit you, sir. I was expecting Alan Brazil to come and interview me himself. Or at least Bowtime, whoever he is. Yeah, we've got a new show coming out called Bellamy's People of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, to give it its full snappy title. It's a kind of version of a radio show we did called Down the Line, which was a spoof phone-in show, the type of which will be familiar to talkSPORT listeners of yesteryear. It was really intended to sort of try out new characters in a more imaginative way than just come on, do the catchphrase, try and tell a joke and then get off, which we've done for long enough. We've tried to hoodwink the public for long enough by doing that sort of thing. So we try to think of a more imaginative way to do stuff. Imaginative is a new word that I've invented, by the way, before I get pulled up by Hawksby and Jacobs, and they can talk with names like that. Hawksby. Hawksby. Well, the problem is when you see someone who's got two earrings in, you know, who swans around in a Ferrari. I believe I heard something on talkSPORT today, this new stealth treatment. I didn't quite understand what it was because I just caught the end of it. You know, they probably are. I wouldn't want to go, you know, spar with Wayne Rooney though for 3 minutes. So, you know.
Know which clothes even fit me.
I saw Glenn Hoddle, you know, in his prime at Spurs, and he was brilliant. But I would say he's probably my favourite all time, certainly most skillful Spurs player. In terms of kind of, you know, die hard for the club, it'd probably be someone like Graham Roberts, you know, or Steve Perryman. But I mean, you know, Chris Waddle, and Paul Gascoigne obviously would be my, you know, sort of favourite player, and the boy Lineker, as Mike Channon used to call him. But you're probably too young to remember Mike Channon. But actually the most skillful player I've ever seen at Spurs was Diego Maradona. So I saw him play in Ozzy Ardiles' testimonial. Sign him up was the chance. I do remember in 1988 when we were on tour, Harry and I, singing. We'd just signed him, and I remember singing Gazza's name in every place we stopped. You know, after every gig we'd go and have a drink, and I would inevitably drove Harry around the bend, you know, singing Gazza's praise. Anyway, but I do remember seeing him, and it was just after the World Cup, and I was out down in South London having a drink with Jim and Bob, and Danny Baker was there, and Gazza. And he was having a bit of a drink, and I was like his dad or something. I went up and went, you know, you don't want to lay off that, Gaz, because we've got a game the weekend. I might be mixing it up with Glenn Hoddle's brilliant last goal that he scored, which I saw against Oxford. But I think it was against Oxford. He scored a hat-trick at the weekend, so that put me in my place anyway. Yeah.
Should I go?
Well, you know, it is a tall order because it sort of slightly sticks in my throat to say it. The Arsenal were written off by a lot of people at the beginning of the season, and they're a lot more resilient than people think. And now, you know, again, I'm resorting to cliche now, but you know, Man City have got so much money at their disposal. Spurs, we let ourselves down with, you know, two really bad performances against Wolves and Stoke at home. You look at those, and you know, Harry he's very calm about it and very philosophical. But if I was him, I'd be waking up every morning, 6 points at home, you know. But it is the best season in a long while, and there'll be a few twists and turns yet. You know, you can understand the anger of the Spurs fans when your idol, captain, an avowed Spurs supporter, walks across the road and goes to join the Arse. But having said that, the first game I went to see was Arsenal, actually. The first team I went to see. So I was on at my dad's to take me to football, and I went with him and his mate, and who was an Arsenal supporter. So that was the first game I went to. Yeah, I was. Yeah, well, that was a kid. I was a kid, and it was like, oh, they're good. I like the blue and white there. Oh, I like that. Well, they're winning, are they? I'll have them. You know, that's why there's so many kids at Man United, Chelsea, and Liverpool supporters now. And Arsenal, for that matter. You know, I was brought up in Enfield, and it's proper Spurs hinterland there on up. But I mean, you see lots of kids these days in Arsenal gear up that way. I mean, there was always a bit of a split, obviously. Spurs and Arsenal fans that, you know, come from the same region, North London and beyond. But you know, I think it's almost acceptable these days for kids to support Spurs and actually come out. I don't know how much of a party they really had, actually. And, you know, I mean, you can't stop grown men, because really they are grown men, sort of, some of them, going out and having a party, can you? I tell you what, it's an amazing feat of organisation on Keane's part, if that's what he did. You know, he should be an events manager, shouldn't he? He managed to book all those flights, get all those players, and, you know, let's face it, a lot of them are half-wits. You know, they don't even know they need a passport. Probably half of them haven't even got a passport, apart from the foreign imports. Obviously, they have. But, you know, there were always tales of players turning up to go on foreign tours and they've forgotten their passport. So how he even organised it, got them over there. They had the party. Nobody saw them in Ireland partying, and then got them back, and it only came out subsequently. I don't think that Harry was that bothered, really. He may, and I'm sure Harry's had a drink in his time. Should I stay or should I go? Oh, isn't it? Shocker. Oh, marvellous. I'll tell you what, I'm going to set Alan Brazil on you. I'm going to put a spell on you!